Check. All right. Not great. Chunky coffee. Last bit of coffee at the bottom of the pot. That kind of stuff. Stuff. Fun stuff. Actually made it though.
Maddie's House of Geek
Oh,
said, "Hello, Cody. How are you?"
doing all right. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome, welcome. There you go. I need to turn that down so we don't get that. Be ear destroying. Kind of like Robo Lady was working. That's good. You might have gotten some. Yeah, you had it in wrong placement. Should be working. Things should be working. Let's see. That's good. That's all good. We'll get some kind of started here in a little bit. Give it a couple for folks to come on in. Me to have the caffeine actually hit would be swell.
David Schmilling said,
Oh, took some.
"Howdy."
Howdy, howdy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for stopping on by, stopping on in. Using proper decorum around these here parts. I need the coffee to hit in. Caffeine hit the bloodstream and then into the brain pan there. Good, good. I like that. Couple things to talk about today, though. It'll be fun. Let me see. I was dumb enough to do that. All right, let's have that open. Then of course it's fine. It can be found again. Okay. Storytelling's one. Let's go ahead and fix that. Told you the coffee hadn't hit yet. That should look better now. I guess I should check if everything's good on Twitch as well. Cool. Yes, it's a little dark on Twitch, but probably a little dark in general. I usually have that light back there on. In fact, I might do that. Hold on. Oh, I didn't check him either. Let me see. Please stand by. Please stand by. Oh, that worked. Cool. Don't know if that helped with lighting. It's fine. Did something. I don't know what it did. It did something. But yeah, we'll be chatting about economy of scale and storytelling. Basically, economy period in storytelling in some ways. A lot of bleed over there. Then there's another thing that kind of came up I want to chat about. From creators and peers that I've known basically since I hit the space with any sort of relevance. Any sort of relevance. Skip track. It's a good track. It's just a lot. I hope we get some of the new tracks that I put on today as well. That would be swell. We'll chat a little bit about what like my plans are for a good chunk of the future. Because there's a lot. And then IronVerse Comics plans for a good chunk of the future, which there's some cool stuff coming up pretty damn quick. So yeah, should be a fun, well, I don't know how fun. Should be a good time, an informative time. Good little hang at the very least. I like doing these. I just have not been able to lately because I've been spending my days off with music, which has been incredible. I haven't done that for years. Been a good set of things. Wonder if I can. I need to confirm that with him. I know there's a couple tracks, like his main discography, I'd like to add to my stream list. Okay. I guess we're ready. Is there anything I want to tweak or get working again before I do? Because there's some things like a lot of my hotkeys no longer work on my stream deck, which is frustrating. Yeah, this should work. Why doesn't it work though? Yeah, studio. Let's see. Source visibility. Media source control. Transition filter. Hi, kitty cat. Come say hi. Okay. Hello. Hey, kitty cat. Hey, Miss Nummy. How you doing, girl? Yeah, I don't know why that's not working here. This should switch me to full screen. Like, we shouldn't still be on this. Doesn't work. Oh, that's working. Hey, okay. Maybe some of the stuff just needed to be fudged with. Will this work now? The mic muted. What, Nummo? You want to say hi? Cat. Shit. And this should be desktop audio, which you guys won't notice, but I can see. So, cool. Well, that stuff's working again. What about this? Hey. Okay. What about this? No, that's not working anymore. Good. Thank you. Glad. Let me see. Oh, because that's okay. What if I go back here? No. Okay, so I gotta go here. That one. Oh, that's working again. So I did went. Yeah, that's a sentence. I did pick up a actual green screen for, I don't know, some point for gaming.
Remember, if nothing goes wrong, it's not an optical stream. Smiling face with open mouth and tightly closed eyes.
It's very not offical. It's terribly not offical. Does that one work? No one doesn't work, but that's actually fine. What's this one? Oh, I guess it's on the wrong. I guess I would go to. Which one is this one? It's just fixed. Okay. I need to delete that other source. Does this work? Oh, it does. I don't know why I'd use this, but like I can make things look really bad. Cool. Does this one work? Uh-oh. Oh, it might only work on this one though. Yeah, it works. It works. It's very loud, so I cut it off quickly. Okay. Cool. Well, shit. Most of this stuff's working. Oh, you know what? This one might work too. It's just on the wrong scene. So if I'm over here, yeah, it works. Excellent. All right. Well, this stuff wasn't working great last time I tried it, so I'm pretty happy. That's neat. Okay. Back over here, please. Okay. I guess that's enough with that. That's still kind of working, sort of. There you go. That's still working. Oh, why I have these things on here? It was actually this last go. There you go. Okay. So that's all good. Everything's good. We're good. Oh, okay. I think she pronounced that correctly.
Brother, sister, cousins.
Chat is disabled. You are wrong. Howdy, howdy. I guess we can get going. Let me make sure. Yeah, we can get going. Cool. Alright, so we have 3 subjects. We'll start with the first easy one, which is good news. The proof for issue number 4 should be sent out this Friday, and I should hopefully have it in hand within that next week. As long as they send it to the right place, all these fun things. And then we'll go from there. I'm hoping it just, we nailed, how it should be printed, and we're good. That's the hope. We will see. I'd love all this to just be, super smooth. That would be, an unbelievable blessing to me right now. I'd love everything up to fulfillment to go very smoothly, and then fulfillment's very fun set of trials to also go smoothly, but they're trials. They're things that need to be done. So it's a little bit different. But yeah, almost. It's going to be nice to have a copy of issue 4 in hand, even if it's not printed properly. It should be. But we'll see. I am so freaking excited for it. Fact, I'm going to do that. Yeah, hold on. Bear with me. Whoa! Really bear with me. That was a lot more than expected. Boom.
Scott K.
Ooh, that was loud. Sorry, folks.
Howdy.
Howdy. Anims, please. Give me my animations. I need them. We got some cool stuff I'm not utilizing for the streamer. Which one is the MP4? Properties. Is that the MP4? That is the MP4. Alright. Okay. There it is. Okay. Okay. Cool. Alright. Oh. Oh. Up a little bit, please. Thank you. Okay. Make it something like that. Yeah. Alright. Oh, I don't have the... No, it's right there, so... Maybe it just needs to go further down. And it should be below chat. Good. Look at this. Look at these things that were always on the ending screen that did not need to be on the ending screen. Boop. Okay. We're getting closer. Because I think this is what I want, actually. So it needs to go up higher. Right there. Just leave chat there. Sure. So I just use the screen for like transitioning to the endings anyway. But I wanted to use that animation. It's one of my favorites. Mrs. H really outdid herself with our cover animation there. Let's do...
Eliza Barr.
Let's
said,
do...
How scuffed is this stream gonna be?
Not that much, hopefully. Welcome. But yeah, hopefully not that much. Hopefully.
Said, what are you working on today?
Oh, okay. So we've got 2 subjects we're gonna chat about, and have to do with like being a comic creator, because you know I gotta actually like talk about that stuff once in a while. It's crazy, right? And then I should have. So you guys just missed that news that led me to want to work with this animation real quick. Oh, there I am. And then you guys missed the news about. Oh, where's that on? What's going on here? Why though? Okay. Sure, we'll go with that. We should have the proof being shipped this Friday for issue number 4. Do I have a thing on this one, or is it just on the other screen? Oh, you bastard. Okay, no, it's here.
Oh, Mondo cool. That's right, boys. Mondo cool.
It is though. Can I get just like not loop? Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty stoked. So the first 3 are kind of very much intended to do that. The 4th one, if I had a 5 and 6, it would be very good to do that. Each is when I make these issues, I try and make each stand apart so that they could be read separately with as little context as they themselves can provide, while still being able to provide something of value. But together, hopefully, they tell a more meaningful story. Issue 5 is the one that would like really make a cohesive message. But it's gonna be a bit till we get there. But anywho, I'm excited for you to read those 2. Please let us know what you think. Feedback is one of the hardest things to get as an independent comic creator, unless the feedback you're looking for is, you know, you being an asshole. That you can get plenty of that. Either people rallying behind you or rallying against you. That seems to be primary feedback, even like giant creators. Thank you. I've very much appreciated your reviews you did as well. I love to read people's insights and to kind of see how the work is hitting people, especially because that's kind of why I do it. There's little things in there that I want to communicate that are very important to me, or else I wouldn't have swam through the muck and mire of this industry to complete anything. Right? I don't either, to be fair, Scott. I think we're okay about that. We don't want that. It's a numbers game, so the bigger you are, the more likely you are to pick up the a-holes to whiff your scent, right? But even at my level, they're nothing. Like it's very, very few and far between. In fact, that's one of the subjects we'll be talking about today. All of this.
Eliza Barr.
We'll get there. Oh. Oh, no shit. That's good to know.
Reminded me to send you an email and I shall do so now.
Please do. Please, 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 Eliza Bar. I was kind of rude last time, too. I apologize for that.
Or is your respectable IYTV account it's only guys who behave like craven animals that get disrespect from me. Maddie's House of Geek.
Looks like Robo Lady's working.
I write stories and novels. I know how hard it is to get honest feedback and not people who say I hate it without the why.
Yeah, it's either I hate it or, yay, that was great. Thank you.
Scott said, oh yeah, cross-platform chat both is down.
Let me look at Twitch. Thank you, though. Seems to be working through Twitch. Anybody watching Twitch? Oh, Eliza Bar's not coming through to YouTube, is what you're saying then, huh? Because on Twitch,
Eliza Bar
it's here.
said,
Yeah.
I see YT chat just fine.
But there's a good chance it's not coming through on YouTube. Like, I would not be surprised if something weird like that. That's all.
Scott K. said, yes.
Yeah, no, it's down, Eliza Bar. You're not on YouTube. You're not on YouTube. Okay, why?
Scott K. said, not on YT.
What does that do? What's the thing I do that does that? Yeah, it looks like this isn't picking up Twitch. Okay. That's frustrating. Restream is supposed to do that itself as well. It's supposed to be Restream doing that. What? Okay. Well, at least you guys can hear each other. I'll just have to keep Robo Lady on for now. That is frustrating. I'm not sure why. I did just update Streamlabs here, the chat bot. That might be what I used to do that, but I think I just use Restream. So I don't know why it's not
Scott
doing
K.
its job.
said,
Yeah,
I
see?
did get some feedback that the recluse was more violent than expected.
Well, that was one of your hooks, right? And I mean, it's something worth talking about. So Jack is not a very violent comic. It has gore and horror, but most of the violence is either pre or post violence, right? It's not during it. Like, it's head on pike kind of stuff, not chopping the head off and putting it on a pike kind of stuff, right? So I guess that might be a different vibe if folks are expecting something like from IronVerse Comics into that. Also, if they've checked out Cactus Coyote, is not a violent comic whatsoever. It's just a fun, playful kind of comic. So that could be it. But also coming from Wrath, right? People might have expected something different. But either way, the violence that you chose is not off-brand.
See the effects of the violence rather than the act. I can dig it.
Yeah, that's what I would say a lot of the time. And then, like, I'd go the Samurai Jack route where most of his actual in-universe violence is against monsters or robots, right? Like, you don't see him just murder somebody. Which the Recluse, in a harder world, very much melts somebody's face. So it's one of the fun bits.
Said, it's visual storytelling of what went down which lets the imagination run with the story. I like it.
That's also what I was trying to do. Is like here's a thought form, here's an idea. However you want to piece that together, go right ahead. The thing I wanted to communicate is already there, right? Like, I don't need the details or any of that. There's a few action scenes. For instance, in issue 3, where Jack and Tracker in the Old West are pinned down after insulting a group of banditos madre, and they're kind of just having their witty banter back and forth. And there's a lot of gunshots flying, and then eventually, like, it's the point of that scene is to communicate Tracker getting more violent and more willing to just, like, no, it's power that matters, not all these rituals, these platitudes, and these kind of walls that Jack built around himself and how he functions in the world as he does himself, right?
Okay.
That doesn't matter. Power matters, Jack, and then he just
I told
hatchets
Friendship
somebody.
on that, and I am 100 behind what I'm doing with that and the recluse.
Well, there you go. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, we produce adult works over at IronVerse. Even Cactus Coyote, which will skew a little bit younger, more like shonen level kind of stuff, does have some very heavy themes. Like, that's kind of like happy-go-lucky work in our universe would be very tough to pull off. I would love to see it. And there are some elements of that to Cactus Coyote in particular, but just that itself, like, if you come to IronVerse Comics, it's a Vertigo light in thematics. We're not going to go as heavy as Max or Vertigo or any of that, but we're not going to be as light as you'll find in a standard superhero or even Western comic. It's just not the vibe and message that we work towards. But yeah, okay. It's odd that the YouTube chat thing's not working. I wish I knew what I could do. It says it's connected. Yeah, most of you are on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea why it's not, the Restream bot is not relaying. Both ways. It's relaying YouTube to Twitch, which is nice, I guess. But yeah, again, we'll just have Robo-Lady, and then that's how you'll know each other exist. Okay. So what do we want to do here? We chatted about the big parts. Skip track? This one's got me on edge, man. It's got me on a coffee's hit also, if you haven't noticed. I've actually got energy now. Okay. So this fucking blew up for her, and I'm very glad because it's an important thread. So if you haven't seen this thread, and you're a comic creator, or even just a fan of, like, independent comics and the gigantic bite they take quite often, this is an interesting thread to read because it comes from experience and just a desire to help folks avoid some pitfalls. And I've heard it discussed a couple different ways. It's just a little loud. It's a good track though. So I've heard it discussed before, but I've never seen it blow up like this. So this was how you kind of phrased it correctly. So I did this. I'm here dealing with this, right? And since then, I was smart, though. I was smart about it. I never really expected to... I don't plan out this big. I just don't. Now, Cactus Coyote... but it's not dozens of arcs. I think it is specifically a dozen arcs. It is hundreds of chapters, though, I think. So it's tough. It's tough. I didn't dive as whole hog into it as he does, but he's prolific and he likes to get his work down a lot more than me. I like to be flexible, flowing, and adaptable, let's say, as best I can, because this especially when I don't understand what I'm doing, if I don't leave myself space to work, it's going to fail very quickly. And that's one of the bits you can talk about in this, right? Like, even though I bit off more than I could chew from the start with my ideas, I've adapted since.
Said, I 100 agree with this and treaded carefully on what I wanted to do with my first series and how I could break it down into reasonable goals.
That's the big one, right? So first series in particular, and that's what I usually heard this kind of conversation in context was people saying, oh, I want to do this giant adventure kind of book, which is what I wanted to do.
Maddie's House
but not breaking it down.
Said, yeah, with my ad I have to scale back my ideas and decide which arcs can be put in the story and which can be new stories. Too many arcs plots in one story can be overwhelming.
Yep. Oh, no question. So, everyone wants to be the next Oda, Toriyama, or Kishimoto. Those creators had years and titles. That's the big one. They had much behind them before what they're known for. Many creators have shared their manga plans within their like 100, 200, 300 plus chapters and dozens of arcs. And here's a big one. Mangaka typically, and it is very typical, have assistants to help with the work. Most of you will likely not have that level of help. Assistants, editors, folks running the business end of it, like all these different layers of assistance that is not placed upon your creative shoulders as a mangaka. Yeah. Let's be super generous and say that it takes you 1 month to complete an average chapter of 18 pages after your full-time job, and you spend 7 hours a page, which is what they do. Assuming you work alone or hire artists without 1 week off ever. 18 pages a month, about 5 pages a week. 5 pages, 35 hours, plus a 40-hour full-time job, 75-hour work weeks. 50 chapters, 4 hours of work. 100 chapters, 4 years, excuse me. It's a little different. 100 chapters, 8 years of work. 200 chapters, 16 years of work. Never not working.
Said. Start small. Magnus opus as your first work is always ill-advised. The people who succeed that way are the exception, not the rule. If a person assumes they're an exception, the reality is they are. Einbracht said. Likely the rule.
I agree on both of those statements. So I did start on Magnus Opus, but I approached it as multiple titles. I broke it into segments, right, that could be each approached differently or, again, be adaptable. That's what ended up becoming IronVerse Comics, is adaptation, because there's no way I could have done the 5 planned titles I had by myself and produced that. It's just not a thing, as I've learned.
Scott K. said, I think one of the best things you can do is set a reasonable stopping point for your story, but still leave a door open if there is room to grow.
So I hope folks have noticed every issue of Jack that I've done. Each issue of Jack could have been the stopping point. Why most of them, I think all of them, end with a end question mark, because I knew right away how difficult this journey is, and I try to make each issue, again, I try to make them self-contained, where it would suck if something like didn't finish because there's so much more to explore, but each issue has said what it needed to, right? I think that's been very important for my longevity and being able to do this work as long as I have without being like disappointed or having people be like, what's going on here? I think issue 2 is our biggest cliffhanger, where it's just like, oh, look at that, this guy's going into issue 3. It's a big like reveal of a new character on the last page. What are you doing? It's like our biggest cliffhanger. And that one I was pretty sure I'd get an issue 3. That's why I took that risk. Introducing a new character at the end of it. If it had ended at issue 2, it would have been very disappointing. But I was still young and full of vinegar and piss. And I'm willing to believe that things could move forward very quickly.
That's not to say a person can't or shouldn't be passionate. Hell no, always love what you're working on. You'll be more likely to put your all into it. That's how it works for me anyway. Eliza Barr said. Email sent to you. If you don't see it, just DM me on Discord or something that actually works. LUL.
Will do, Eliza Barr. Thank you so much. We'll figure it out. I think if you got an Illustrator Monk sketch, which is quite likely, I have it already. It's actually behind me. But if it was a Mrs. H and a me sketch, I don't know if I have a Mrs. H sketch for you, but I will do mine. So there's got to be a few of these art streams coming up that just like need to be done. So I need to do sketch cards, and I need to do Jack figure painting. I have the Jack figures also. I don't think I ever updated that. Wicked sent me those, so I gotta assemble and make sure like all of them are slightly damaged in one way or another. It's what came with them. It's how they were built. They weren't designed very well.
I got a Cody and a Monk sketch both. I was pushing you over the finish line for the campaign pretty hard. You pushed it very hard. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean, it's been a hell of a ride for me, as each of these have been. So I'm going to be happy to kind of breathe, and I'm going to do my best to do kind of a reset of the things that have made this journey a bit more difficult for the next whatever I do. I spoke about it in the update email. I would maybe want to do a issue 1 through 4 collected
trade paperback. That might be something I do before I step back for a good chunk of time. But we'll see. Honestly, I won't know till we fulfill number 4. But I really appreciate like how hard our community has rallied the previous 2 campaigns. It's been insane. Just
Scott
absolutely
K.
insane.
said. At the end of the day, it always boils down to what works for you. We just try to give tips and pointers to help avoid pitfalls we have hit or seen others hit, or to help improve your current process.
Ugh. Coffee's way chunky. It's the bottom of the pot. It's gross. Yeah, it's true. That's the hope, right? Because there's like no mentorship in American comics. It's just, it doesn't exist.
Said. I apologize for being a pain in the butt. I should have caught this issue months back.
I should have done these sketch cards much back. Don't worry about it. Like I'm just like, things will get done when they need. That's the number one thing also with my particular end of this work, is I have 100% faith things will happen when they need to, even if that means a little bit of patience, a little bit of distress in some cases. Things will get done. But yeah, again, 5 pages, 25 hours plus 40 hours. It's still 65-hour weeks. Yeah. It's hellish and brutal for that long. If you plan on being published or picked up, that's great. But what if you aren't? What if the money you promised yourself in Team Artist doesn't come? Would you or they still commit to it? I would never ask an artist to do work without already knowing they'll have money. We almost did that with issue 4, but luckily the schedule, I guess I could say, I really wanted it to happen. Maxie's schedule didn't work out, so he didn't actually start till we had the money, even though we had discussed very much having it way done before the time period it was, and it would have helped significantly with our schedule. But, you know, again, things happened as they probably needed to happen. Boom. It's possible to make a living at it, but depending on what markets you use, which they did a wonderful, Global Comics did a wonderful article discussing the 5 markets that they believe exist for comics. I totally recommend checking that out. Some are harder, easier than others. You need to be aware of the scope of your project when pitching it and not have some ambiguous goals. My goals were very ambiguous as I was pitching it to people crowdfunding, especially when I started. But I think that ambiguousness came off as ambition and passion, which really helped me sell things. But it's different, you know, it's different for different folks. Can you succeed? Yes, you can. It's not possible. No, it's not. But burning out, underestimating the scope of the projects, life getting in the way, which has hurt me quite a bit over the last couple of years. And discipline versus motivation. It's a lot harder to get wins with a long-form story, right? Like something big, like, again, finishing your story. Finishing an arc is a big one. For me, it's each issue is the win. And that's been enough, but it hasn't got me this big, you know, windfall of energy and motivation. It's just been like, yes, we did it. Next, and that's painful. That's painful. And then she talks about her work, 5-6 years commitment, even in a chapter a month, 40-hour weeks, because she made sure to take care of herself, and she can thrive on a schedule. I don't either. I'm very, very much. I have a great difficulty with rigidity in most of its forms and discipline. You'll need, but you should be aware of the commitment you'll need as soon as possible. It will help you find the right people, which is so very important. Be able to answer the questions publishers have while you're pitching. It will help you plan post times and schedules better if you're doing web comics or what have you. Time management is a skill, not a personality trait. Exactly, you work at it. If you have passion for a project, do anything you can to keep that. It's very important. It's very, very important. I can tell you, it can get rough. It's your most powerful tool. It can grow weak and research back, writer, blah blah blah. Protect that passion plan at minimum. Estimate and be prepared. Yes, too many friends that burn out and wants to protect them and heal them, but you have to protect yourself too and be realistic. Pie in the sky idealism only gets you so far. Yes, it does not carry you the whole way. go out and do it, and all that fun stuff. So the important thing, again, is though, I'm sure since there's 345 quotations, a lot of people either feel the same or were like, well, this doesn't work for me, yada, yada, yada. But the main bit is, I just wanted to talk about this because I have experienced that. I came in with like, oh, I'm going to do this grand epic with all these bits. I of course, did not plan it that way. I play it issue by issue. This is the story I want to tell at this time because of these reasons, and usually something kind of personal. And then I try and put it together to what happens before. I don't plan it like, oh, this is issue 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is this big thing. Oh, here's the big one. I can't do that. I do it bit by bit. I know exactly what issue 5 is, and I knew since issue 4 script finished. But I don't even approach it till I'm ready to approach it, till it's going to actually be something of note. I don't like creative effort to stagnate, mine to just kind of stagnate, sit there. At the same time, like, I'm not motivated to do that if it's going to just stagnate, right? Like, I don't need to express creativity that way right then. For that kind of stuff, I paint. Or recently, again, I got back into music, which has been a blessing. It's been such a great change of pace, my God, to comic creating. I can't express how much I enjoy playing music compared to comic creating in the instant soul fulfillment level. Comic creating is such a slow burn, and the rewards, they're different, and they are farther between. I wouldn't say few, because there's like some really big stuff that gets to happen when I make a comic. But it's definitely far between. Because we can't run at it with the team I work with, and with the story I need to tell, and all these things. It just can't be rushed at. All right, noon. I need to leave at 45, so we're still all right. It's been about that, so an hour and a half. Cool, we'll be good. All right, that covered that basically. I know there's more to talk about on that. There's a lot of more specifics, but just like, just flow, man. If that works for you, just flow. If it doesn't work for you, then kind of schedule and be smart about how you structure your storytelling. If you don't structure it correctly, you will go bankrupt in energy, in motivation, in ability, in literal money. Literal bankruptcy. If you plan too hard and lean into it too hard and you gave yourself too much on your plate, it's not going to work. Again, I feel very lucky that I recognized it very quickly that I could not do a longer form storytelling. I can do a bunch of longer form storytelling that's manifested out of micro tales, right? Episodic kind of ideas that feed into a bigger one. That's how I decided to do it, and it's allowed me economy of scale with something I'd love to be massive, but see how far it goes.
Scott K. said, have a plan on how you want to eat the elephant.
Bingo! Exactly. And we can talk about this because it also hits the motivation end, right? As a creator, you'll be mocked for following your dreams. I don't know if I was ever mocked for that. I will say the closest I've come to that is, like, you mentioned that you make comics to non-comic book people and non-comic book fans. And I tend to get two reactions.
Said, I don't want to eat an elephant though, I just want to hang out with a chill LF bro.
LF bro. LF bros are pretty dope. It's more of a, like, either, oh, that's cool, or huh. And rarely do I get more of a, like, ooh, what's it about and all that. But I have gotten that as well. But that's mainly, like, I've never been directly mocked. Oh, you make comics. Like, no. But some people have. I'm certain, especially the older you are, right? And what have you, I'm sure that happens. Not for me, luckily. Kindness will be taken advantage of. That's been my biggest issue in a couple forms. One of them quite painful. The other one, like, hard to carry, I guess would be the better way to say it. It wasn't destructive so much, it's just hard to carry, and its actual value is tough to determine. And that makes it very difficult. Derided for not joining the cool kids. Yeah, that's happened. But not to a level I've seen many others have to deal with that, which I've been lucky. But I don't make that much work, and it's not that popular, right? So my stance is not like one that's widely applicable. Criticized for doing better than others. That I've never got. Though I have done better than some. Like, it's funny to me. But yeah, no one's ever given me shit. And there's good reasons, because I think I don't... Jack is a series of failing upwards without actually failing. So it's like nearly failing upwards, I guess is what you'd say. So maybe that helps with the criticism. Oh, well, he barely did it. So maybe that would do it. Laughed at and mocked when you don't do as well. Kind of. I have dealt with that, but not like to any consistency, and not for years. Constantly compared to something. That one bugs me when it's a mainstream product that I find disgusting, which has happened only once. And it's not even the product that I find disgusting, it's the company which produces that product that I find disgusting. So that bothers me. Most of the comparisons I've got from Jack have been quite complimentary. But at the end of the day, you're doing what others can't. So keep living the dream while others live to dream. So that's the bit. I get it. It's tough. And it goes further right here, like this bit where, Mark Pellegrini and Timothy Lim have worked very, very hard, consistently for years, and put out one of the most consistent quality works in independent comics, and have grown as naturally as possible in the space. It's been incredible to watch. I'm not up on my Common America reading. I am up on my Common America purchase. I'll keep supporting them because I love seeing that as a pathway to manifest your dreams and your
Scott
comic
K.
book work.
Said.
But
Whenever
yeah,
I think about wanting to be where someone else is, I remind myself that there are people that would love to be where I am at.
bingo, right? There's a lot of people who talk and do not do, and it's a big deal to do. Like, I take great pride in the doing. But that's the big one, right? Like, there was a platforming that did happen with their work early on that, I think they really, So their current success, I would put 100% on them. But their initial awareness, that did come from elsewhere. Not in its entirety, but like the initial foothold did come from elsewhere, and I wouldn't pin their success on it. No, that's been them being consistent and working hard and putting out a cool product. But the ignition spark is something I think they downplay a little much, which does bother me a little bit. But again, the work itself has proven to stand the test, and they've built it in foreign markets and other places 100% on their own. Then there's this one, which I get it, because this wonderful creator has done many things to help other folks out, and he takes it quite personally when shit don't work, and I don't blame him. It's why I've been very choosy with any kind of effort I've put towards helping others in this, right? Like anything beyond the easy, superficial stuff, which I am always happy to do for basically any comic creator. Besides that stuff, when it's deeper and it's involving in my work or involving elsewhere, like I've worked very hard to be choosy on that, and I fucked up once, and I don't think I'm gonna ever do that again. Like I learned very, very quickly, especially the timing that it happened. I'm not gonna forget it. But there's fun stuff here, right? Like they got fucked over again, this is 5-year-old drama at this point, for being attached to a publisher that made a move that was probably really thought over, and a choice was made that a lot of people didn't like, and they got backlash for simply being attached to that publisher. Like, there's stupid things like that in comics that I haven't seen for a while, but like, it does happen, and it sucks. But anywho, like, people don't realize all these other moving parts that come in once you become any sort of, again, have any sort of relevancy in the comics community. And it is I try to participate in it as a community. Splendored, but a community.
KA1 was pretty solid. At some point I'll get around to backing later issues properties from Tim and Mark. I'm trying to stick to smaller creators right now to help more small-time indies get funded.
Which we very much appreciate. Like, once folks have a consistent background, unless you're a massive fan of the work, they don't. Like, there's a million other very cool stuff going on that maybe check out and see if you want to try something else that might actually get you to be a massive fan. Be like, oh, I've got to get everything every time, right? Like, that's what you should find in this as a backer, especially if they're a consistent creator. I wouldn't do that for us, for instance. Which I hate saying, at least for me, like my end of it, because I am not that consistent. I've been terrible at setting deadlines and manifesting that stuff. Like, it's tough. The work will get done, but it's not something we've nailed any time at all. So that's always something to consider. Now, if you really like our work, then maybe we're worth it. That's my hope. But, like, you know, you can consider other folks as well. I'm particularly talking about Jack. The other properties of IronVerse Comics have not proven one way or the other yet. So we will see. There is other work occurring right now. Cactus Coyote should actually almost have its ash can ready for digital delivery pretty soon.
Mrs. H said, a wild MRSH appears.
We got the mock-up for the credit page, which is the last little bit that we needed for Cactus Coyote. Just needs to be colored, which I'm excited for. And then we'll have the 16-page little ash can comic ready. I am super excited to share that step in IronVerse Comics with everyone. It's one that means very much to me. He's been at my side with this for a very long time, building what is the meat and skeletal structure of the universe we play in.
I am an untested loose cannon.
Exactly!
Einbracht said, nothing to thank me for. You made something that intrigues me. It may sound bizarre, but thank yourself for creating the character.
Oh, it was I've been very open about this when especially at the beginning with interviews, and I think it's what people resonate with, like how important the character was to me, as it was I could use a coping mechanism. That's a little rough. It's not 100% that. It was a idea, thought form, a sigil in which I could comprehend and digest the journey and added knowledge and awareness that comes with becoming an adult, going from childhood to teenagehood to adulthood. That's what Jack is. It's that added awareness of the world, your place in it, the majesty and magnificence of the world compared to its horror, terror, weight, its grief. It's all these very big things that me as a kid was maybe not oblivious to, but certainly did not have perspective on. Jack was a way to manage that perspective, and continues to be that. It's a weird set of books and a weird set of coincidences every time I release a book. We'll see what happens with 4. Hopefully no weird coincidences in that one. I tried very hard to just make it more of a stock story and a little less like, oh, this happened and then it happened. Literally. Issue 2. But, I mean, it started with me, in particular, like, it started with me figuring that out. That's why I wrote the scripts, designed the character, that kind of stuff. But then I lost my mother, and it became an outlet for which I could direct that grief and energy towards something, period, right? It was just something. And you see that. I mean, it's the opening pages of my book. I'm saying goodbye. It gets violent. Again, it gets rough. But you know, that's, again, one of the messages of it. Like, life ain't easy. But 2, it predicted some weird shit that, you know, most people wouldn't have expected. I didn't really expect. 3, said goodbye to my dad before he passed, which is crazy to me. He actually, like, I had issue number 4 printed, and he never saw it. But issue 4, there's a very specific panel which I will never forget. Or issue 3, excuse me. There's a very specific panel I won't ever forget. Issue 4, like, it's more of a processing issue, I hope, and less of a, like, oh, look at this. There's not much of that. Most of it's processing, and how I structured it was processing and integrating ancient stories, so it has more of a ground to it and less of a weird Grant Morrison manifestation energy to it, which I don't want to keep going on. Worked for him for a while, but it's not a journey I want to share with them. But yeah, we're working, we're moving, getting stuff done. It's a big plan, and thank you all for being part of it. So those were the 2 main kind of topic things I wanted to hit. Mainly the first one, just because it seemed to resonate massively with a ton of creators.
Said, sorry to hear about your father. I'm a transient in the online comic community, so I miss a lot. I try to pop into various streams to get different perspectives.
That's a good way to do it. As many perspectives as you can allow you to have a wider personal perspective, and that's super important. It's too easy to be guided and misused and abused if your perspective is very narrow. But yeah, no, I mean, this was 2019, 2021? I don't even know how much. I think 2021, early 2021, actually. He saw part of the pandemic. He's an old man. With you know, he was having heart problems for a good chunk of his time. So it wasn't like it was completely unexpected, but you never expect anything like that, period. Unless it takes a while like it did with my mom. In which case you are very, that was rough. Like, comparatively, both were rough, but that was just awful. But anywho, that's where this stuff comes from, right? Like, I create from a desire to communicate and a desire to usually work through something. Some creators not so much. Some creators do it for the love of creation and just to have fun. Some do it to make money, which is insane to me because it just ain't there. Like, you got to be doing and be a lot of other things to actually make money in comics. Like, you can't just be a comic creator. It's very unlikely. Dave Pilsky, yeah, there you go. Or is it Dan Pilsky? I don't remember. Dogman, Captain Underpants, that guy, he's raking it in. As far as I'm aware, he mainly just does the comics, right? Like, he just makes these goofy little kids books, which is incredible and so very much needed these days. that's why I think he's getting rewarded for it. But that's like an exception, right? He's been doing it forever. But even if you're working for Marvel or DC, unless you're some top writer that's like super like, they want to pay you, right? They want to keep you around. They don't want you going across companies or what have you. Your name. You're making peanuts. You're making peanuts. Like David Propose, I believe it's his name, on Savage Avengers. I'm sure he's making enough to be a comic writer as a profession, but I don't think he's getting rich off of it. And that's a big title, big IPs, it does well, it's consistent, right? Like, it's rough. Rough. Can't imagine image creators either with how their financial system works for Image. Like, I can't imagine many image creators are, like, living off of their books, period. Like, it's comics is not an artistic medium that has money to go around. There's a lot of mediums that it helps spawn and fuel that has money to go around, and that's what everybody chases. They don't chase the books, which sucks because comics as a medium itself is so much more valuable than just fodder. But that is like pie in the sky and so very rare. And even if you do get that show, as we've seen, like it's not likely to actually work out for you as a creator. There's a very specific example I can think of that's like, yeah, you got your show, it lasted a few episodes. What are you doing now? Oh, you're on GoFundMe. Huh? That kind of shit, where it's just like, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I think comics has had a curse on it for a long time as being like a medium in which a lot of naive, wonderful people dive in and create and are just swallowed alive by the corporate monsters. And it's very rare somebody actually punches back at the corporate monsters. It's how we got Image to begin with, but they were already so well off, they didn't have to do what they did. They were just getting kind of pissy. It's like, oh, well, we deserve more. Did they? Oh, absolutely. No question. But, like, the economy's, again, economy of scale, or just economy of comics, period. Like, oh, it's rough. It's rough. If you're doing well in comics, like, unicorn, and I'm so proud of you. As long as you're not, like, swindling folks, which does happen. And the bigger you are, the more likely you can get away with it without real consequence. It's rough. It's rough. But such is the medium. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to chat about, folks. And maybe keep it shorter today, because I do got to get out in like 30 minutes. I did show the Cax Coyote page, which I'm super stoked about. Oh, absolutely. Image spawned a lot of cool books. Like, that's not the bit. I mean, it also spawned a lot of junk. Particularly the first wave of books where all those artists thought they could write as well. McFarlane was like the only one that really could nail it. And then The Darkness as well. Forgot his name. Oh god, it's gonna break my heart. He runs Top Cow right now, if I remember right. That's his like imprint. They each had imprints too. It was a neat system, and it was better at the time. Nowadays, though, it's kind of dog eat dog. It's rough at Image. Financially, right? Like they don't pay you a dime till they are paid off, which is rough. And with most, like even like Marvel books selling in the thousands of copies, not the tens of thousands, not the hundreds of thousands. No, the thousands. Which is, you know, Jack over its lifespan has sold about that many issues, which is for indie comic, right? Like, it's really good. which is terrible. It's terrible that those numbers are really good. It's rough, and the amount of money that Jack's made also comparatively towards like how much it has actually output, like is really good, and it's rough because luckily most of it goes to the artists, and then like fulfillment stuff. Like I have made very little, but I have made something, which has been nice. But each campaign puts me in the hole. So I don't know, like, I don't know if I've actually made something, but it has, like, I have had money from it at times where I needed money, which has been good. So it's a lot for very little in terms of, like, stability. Comics. It's a lot for very little stability, and to earn that stability takes a very strong leap of faith. That's what I've seen. The best example, again, is that Common America and Iconic Comics. It was one very strong leap of faith between those two creatives that allowed it to happen. And they work so far ahead that allows them to be on a schedule and a release, and to run these things and just release them without having to do constant promotion and all these crazy things. And it took them a long time to get to there, right? Like, it's a lot. It took a leap of faith and patience. I can't take the leap of faith. I mean, I can for myself, but I can't take it for my team. I have to make sure that the money and such is there to compensate these incredible talents before anything can move forward. And so that stalls us greatly. But yeah, no, Image Comics has some great titles. Around that time, I'm more of a fan of Valiant. I really liked Valiant Comics from that time. Solar Man of the Atom, Dr. Mirage, Exo Man of War, big fan. Eternal Warrior, Archer and Armstrong. Oh my god, I loved the connected universe that Jim Shooter helped like build Valiant Comics into at that same time period. The crossovers with Image are terrible, and I love them for how terrible. But yeah, I don't know. It's a rough industry, and I hope things improve. I'm glad there's a lot of new, I would say, medium-sized independent publishers out there for folks to get their books through if they're able to deal with whatever mechanisms you have to get in and get through.
I don't remember Valiant. I don't think I was ever exposed to it in a meaningful capacity.
I think most people would say that. Like, modern Valiant's more known for making bad choices. Prior Valiant, when you look at the books, were really good. When you look at the business, it was pretty good at that point when Jim Shooter was running it. But after that, it's been a mess for years. It's been a mess for years and years and years. But 90s Valiant is kind of a unique unicorn for me because they all also had like similar color palettes and everything kind of felt very cohesive. It was very unique for a connected universe at that time, where they didn't have huge divergent art styles and everything kind of interconnected from an editorial level down, which Marvel has done at different points, but like not as consistently as Valiant did at that time. And that's what I really liked about it. If I remember right, Solar is like an old Gold Key character that they had revitalized. And then Turok also, if you might have heard from the video games as well. Big fan of Turok. That's newer Solar. Yeah, that'll work.
Said, what drew me to your project was plain and simply the art I saw you sharing on Twitter, so
Yeah.
at the very least know that the style of your book is rather unique.
Oh, Maxie's incredible, and we pay him for that incredibility. He is killer. Big fan of Maxie. He's also just a really cool dude. One of the stories I always go to is meeting him, right, during interviews and stuff, because it's a fun story. But the fact that I think I've been working with him now almost a decade, about 8 years now. I've been working with Maxie, which is crazy. He took a risk on me. That was a leap of faith he took. We've been able to get these books out because of that leap of faith. I mean, technically, I took a leap of faith when I did the crowdfunding and all that too. I sell myself short a little bit, but it's just crazy. You know, some of those meetings can be crazy, providential and what have you. But yeah, the art is what definitely sold it. It's what gave me a foothold at all. Because it was and still does look very unique. We spent a lot of time making sure that our colorists as well complemented quite decently. And he puts a lot of effort. He's gotten sketchier over the years, which has given it more grit, which has given it quite a bit of personality. His art style has evolved over 8 years, which you'd hope it would. And I'm really hoping I want to get 2 more issues out, and then go from there. I'd love to start, another arc after that, but even get to issue 5 is gonna be rough. I have to nail issue 5. If I misfire in issue 5, it could ruin all of Jack. At least in my own eyes, because everything builds to issue 5, and then issue 6 is the release, the vent, the carrot on the stick for anything to happen in the future. It's a lot less pressure. 5 builds off of everything I set up between 1 and 4. It's a lot.
Funny enough, it was the reverse for Matt C.'s project. The art drove me off at first, then I got to know the guy and his plans and realized he deliberately drew Kyrie that way. It's an odd cartoonish Einbracht said rendition of hieroglyphics. I dig it.
Totally. I really respect him too. He's been at it forever, been very consistent, released quite a few books. Cool cat. He's a cool cat. And Kyrie's a neat book. There's a lot of creators like that too. Another person who kind of goes under the radar but has been as consistent as Common America is Tonic Comics. If you like kind of irreverent 90s feeling humor with a lot of heart and just kind of super fun, and his writing, it's very rare that I find a writer-artist who has a great balance of both talents. Is able to use both to enhance the whole. Like, I've seen some really talented artists who can't write, some really talented writers who can't quite draw that great. That's far less common, believe it or not. It's usually the artist has spent far more time on their art and then thinks they can write. And some of them just need an editor. But Tonic in particular, Mr. Tonic Mole, has an incredible balance of both and is very good at playing his styles, both writing style and artistic style, against each other. I have so much fun with that book and the other books that he's kind of released around it. Very cool stuff. But again, very, very consistent. He's on issue 10, I believe now, which is crazy. Sees moderate success each release, is enough to be worth it for him, and then has been slowly seeing that build, which has been, I love seeing that, especially with smaller, less prolific creators in terms of how much they are engaged with by the comic community, I guess is the way to say it. Community. I like to think of it that way because I try to treat it that way. I try to take care of everybody as best I can. But it's very, very fractured. It still has been. It's been fractured since I got in. In fact, I think that fracturing is the only reason I got it. But still. Well, I don't know if it's the only reason. Again, the art was probably the other one. My writing certainly isn't it. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm going to call it so I can get ready to go. But I really appreciate you folks joining me today. I think this was fun. It's a good discussion. I hadn't done a Cody Coffee and Comics for a very long time. Again, I've been playing music lately. I've been doing like 6-hour practices with a friend trying to get ready for recording an album, which was going to be at the end of this month, but then our drummer ended up hurting his wrist, so it's probably going to be mid next month. I'll let folks know how that goes. I'd love to share some of it when it finishes. Maybe I'll do another interview with the wonderful Laguna Munta. We have one on the channel if folks are interested. It was a great chat. We listened to a bunch of his music. It was for the release of his concept album called Chuck. It was a very good time. Well, actually, the most viewed videos on the channel, which is cool too. A lot of excellent music. If you want to listen to excellent music too, at the same time, kind of hear how he creates and like his thought process and stuff. Oldest friend, closest thing I have to a brother. Very cool cat. But it's been neat to get back into music. It got me through my teenage years before it was my original like artistic expression.
Good luck with your music endeavors, sir. You should talk to the Gospel of Comics guys sometime. Ayrton, Joe, Larry, and Crutch are good folk.
Crutch, it should be. Oh, maybe it is Crutch. See, yeah, interesting. Cool. I don't know if I have or not. I may have. I've been around quite a bit. Like, I've been blessed, like, every time I'm running a campaign, a very diverse group of folks are willing to chat with me. I don't tend to do as many interviews and promotional stuff when I'm off campaign because it is terribly draining. It is just so much for me.
I'm Brad.
But
Said.
it'll be good.
OPP's church typo, my bad, ha ha ha.
Oh, it is church. Okay, I kind of thought it was gonna be church, but I was like, yeah, maybe. But I may have. If you want to see my interview, I think I have a. I don't know if it's up to date.
I'm Brad.
Playlists.
Said. Oh goodness, I can't type today, need coffee.
Oh man, I'm barely finishing this because it's so chunky. It's disgusting, but I needed it. I think those are just the interviews I've done with other people. Did I no longer save the ones that I've done with? That'd be goofy, Cody. And I have the reviews. Let me see, this might just be the ones I've done, which would be frustrating, but no. I want to see the playlist. Okay, there it is. No. This is those and isn't it? Yeah. It's not all of it. It's not even close.
Dollar coins.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was gonna point you to
Cody,
a.
where you been and gone?
I was just about to go and bin, and then you show up. Howdy, doll. Yeah, I was actually just about out of here, so I can go do one of my other gigs. But yeah, howdy, welcome. Definitely go back, watch the stream, brother. I think decent chat. I would have liked your input earlier, but just because you totally approached one of these things, one of the subjects we talked about in an interesting manner, and I kind of like to have heard your thoughts on it. So place it in the comments down below if you watch it. But we did hit everything though. We did hit everything. So yeah, just about out of here, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I do have a green screen now. I will try and use it for gaming. It's my hope. I want to build a frame for it so I can just kind of put it behind me instead of like doing a weird hang over like all of that stuff.
Said. On my honor as a man, I'll do my best to give meaningful feedback once your books are in my hands. Take care and hail chat.
That's a nice thing. At least the 1 through 3 are already printed and they're just waiting to go out, which is very nice. We're just waiting for 4. And that's another update. I'll just remind folks in case you came late. Issue number 4's proof should be shipping out Friday. I'll have a tracking number then from what the printer said. We'll see. And then we'll go from there.
I miss the days of people with sheets hanging behind them yelling at their cameras for comic book content on YT. Dollar coins. Said. THX sign.
Yes, thanks very much, Hein.
Coins. Said. I helped too.
He did. Significantly, he's got a editorial credit, if I remember correctly. Also co-editor or something credit. I don't know. It's in the book.
Dollar
Look at the book.
coins. Said.
Also that.
I gave emotional support.
Also very much that. Very much that, like, the entire time. Very grateful for that. But yeah, we're moving ahead, steaming ahead. Oh, I also did preview your credits page, Dollar Coins. It was previewed, not the mock-up, but the line art for it. That was previewed for, I don't know, a minute. It wasn't like a big focus. So don't worry if you were worried about that getting like revealed or something. But I did share it because it's cool. We're almost done. Like, I'm super stoked about that.
Said, but Alita put me out of the job.
She does do that. Do I not have? I don't has. Okay, let me do this. Here, we're gonna do that real quick. I've got like 4 minutes. I think that's enough time to get this done. We'll see. Okay, well, Steam's got to update. Okay. We'll see. But I need that. So come on, Movavi. Movavi? Really? Right? Yeah, it's Movavi. It's Movavi. Oh, come on, Movavi! You can do it! You can do it, man! Okay, there it goes, baby. But yeah, I need a PNG of Alita. I can't believe I don't have one, like, just to fire. It looks far worse than I thought it was gonna. It's adorable, but it looks way worse. So we'll just open the image itself. I was gonna Movavi it and PNG it, but no. This one. Dog. That's the other thing, man. My work recently, just like my work period is draining, let's just say. But I look forward to maybe having this background removal without all the lag. So we'll see. I'll use the green screen at some point. But yeah, thank you folks so much for joining me. I've been practicing the days that I usually would stream, so that's why it's been pretty consistent that I haven't been here. This week was actually a break. He needed to practice. He's got a show on Saturday, so than what I would be playing with him. So that's been this week. Gave me a break, so I wanted to stream today. I think I was going to try and stream Monday, and it didn't happen. What's going on? Yellow. Oh, we died there for a second. Oh, that was, I don't know what happened there. We're back. We're here. We exist. Yeah, weird. It froze there for a second. But, yeah, just about out of here. Appreciate you folks very, very much. And, I don't know if I'll be back next Wednesday. I'll try and be back next Monday. If not, vice versa. I don't know. But just keep an eye out, I guess. There will always be a post going out on my Twitter feed that'll say, "Oh, I'm live now." You can always hit the bell or whatever on YouTube, right? That'll let you know. It'll send you. I don't know if it'll send you an email, but it'll let you know somehow, right? Like through your phone or what have you. Because I am not consistent with these things. Once I'm done with recording, we might still be doing weekly practices, so I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Dollar Coins.
Keep folks in
Said,
the loop
Cody,
as the
UHBOI.
books keep coming. The
Dollar
books
Coins.
almost done.
Said. MAWHBOI. Dollar Coins. Said. Milk Toast BOI.
Milk toast. Ouch. Ouch. I'm actually getting sun now. I can get pretty dark when I'm outside enough, which is nice. I prefer. But okay. Everything's covered. Books coming. So after Jack 4, Scott K's The Recluse will be launching, and I am super excited. I will be here for that, doing the best I can, promoting, interviewing, whatever I can do to help that become a massive success that blows Jack out of the water forever. Let's see if we can do that. The Cactus Coyote Ashcan should be delivering around the time. Digital Ashcan should be delivering around the time we do fulfillment for Jack 4, if not a little bit before then, but I'm thinking probably around then. So look forward to that as well. We'll actually have our 3 kind of titles moving this year, which is really cool. I don't think you'll see Jack 5 this year. If it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen next year and probably mid next year, because there's a lot of things to work out business-wise and stuff that need to occur this year on Jack's end. But look forward to issue number 4. I hope folks enjoy it. I put a lot of heart and soul into it. The digital is out. Did not get much feedback. Certainly no negative feedback, which is nice. But I'd like to hear folks' thoughts. It was definitely my attempt to make it more of a action adventure kind of, almost a Samurai Jack-y kind of feel than my previous works, which were very explorative, I guess is the best way to put it, more than action. But yeah, anywho, love you folks. Thank you. Adios. Have a good one. Till next time. Vaya con Dios. All that fun stuff. Oh, is that not looping? How dare you? No, it's looping. Why doesn't it work?
It's because you pampered in luxury use so elegant, silky, smooth skin.
I am pampered in luxury with elegantly silky, smooth skin. It's just amazing. Okay, so we're going to run a couple trailers which need to be updated. The first one for The Recluse is actually updated for now, but I want to do another one. We have more pages to work with in panels, so I'd like to give more of a flavor. But yeah, enjoy these trailers if you haven't seen them before. And adios. Vaya con Dios. All my love.
$coins. Said. Later Cody, you the best.